everybody who's watching this on the VOD, I am very sorry. I forgot to press record for the first like 10 minutes of this. But now we're good to go. All right. Does everybody have this shape? What's on the menu today? Goated. Dude, Tangoon is the MVP. We almost did not have a VOD for this. I'm really bad about that. It's just because I have the I've had little starting screen rolling beforehand, and it like I come in and everything's already live, and I'm not thinking. I don't start recording. Okay, here's this curvy L shape, and it just comes back up and connect. So again, this is a little bit of an unusual shape. Look at how I drew it. But don't be looking at the screen while you're drawing, right? Look at your drawing. Look at the line work that your pen is making. Take a second and plot how you want this to look on your paper. Okay? We're going to make the other arm, the foremost arm, which is up here. Okay, this one's a little bit easier. It's basically just a long sort of oval shape. Cool. Now, in the ground, this is where the bamboo is peeking out of the ground. We're going to make this bumpy line going across, sort of overlapping where the foot ends. Okay? That's the dirt. We're going to draw the bamboo is actually the next thing. Did I get dressed up for this drawing session, or is this just my average? This is just what I wear. I wear this to the gym. I wear this to the grocery store. I'm wearing this all the time when I'm drawing. It's just this my look. So the bamboo, the rough shape, thank you. The rough shape, of course, is just a straight line going up, but it has a little bit more definition than that. It's going to be a straight line, but you're going to make these little hitches. So up, bump. It's kind of this little triangle. Up, bump. And kind of just feel it out. Get the same amount of space, right? It's about like, on mine it's like an inch between each one. Okay, then we get here. Bump, another one. Up, bump, up, and then stop. All right, we're going to stop there. Move it up a little bit. Now, we're going to make this sort of slanted oval shape. This is the top of the bamboo. It's like where they cut it. And then, the same sort of line that we made on the side here, we're going to make another one going down and bumping at the same spots on the other side, parallel. So down, bump, down, bump, down. Okay, keep going. Bump, down, bump. And then this one too. Boop, just like that. Madre Mothra, bless you. May the Lord bless you. Madre Mothra is on our Patreon, as is Trash Bins, as are actually a bunch of you guys are on our Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. All of you. And then this is what gives it that bamboo look, is that we're actually going to make these little connecting, very slight curved lines at all of the farthest points, connecting each other, just like that. Kind of gives it that bamboo look. And then at the top, or on the side here, just going to make one leaf. Okay, curvy line, and then this leaf shape, right, that like teardrop. And that is a picture perfect bamboo stem right there. All right. Now pandas are kind of chub, so we're gonna add like he's gonna have some meat on him. All right. from the knee, from the inner knee right here. Okay? We're going to make a big curve. Oops, I don't really like how that was happening. Let me move this down a bit. Up to there. It's a curve that comes just about to the shoulder of the other arm. And actually on this side, we can make the other end of the belly, which is just peeking up, just a curve like that. And it even kind of comes in back over there too. Thick. Now the head shape, the way that we drew it here is that they're kind of throwing their head back, which is a bit of an unusual angle, but it actually kind of makes the drawing a little easier in my opinion, because we have to draw less of the face. It's a little bit of a theme, I think, in my comics of having the faces obscured of some of the main characters, because I think, I don't know, subconsciously I think there's this funny thing about not being able to see the expression clearly on a character's face. It's almost like an equivalent to, like, you know how sometimes in a horror movie it almost gets not scary anymore once you see the monster. Like, the scariest part of the movie is that when you don't know what it looks like and there's all these like weird shenanigans going on, and then when you see it, there's that moment that you're like, oh my god, but then there's almost kind of this like, okay, now I know what it looks like. It's not really scary anymore because I know what the monster looks like. There's something with that in, like, I think comedy and comics also. Quiet Place vibes are like that for sure. There's something like that in comedy too, I think, a little bit, where like when you, or comics, that when you're not showing a character's face, you get to kind of insert your own, like, there's something that you don't do it consciously, but you're like, you put in your mind what you think that person's face looks like, and it's usually funnier than what somebody's actually going to draw. Do you know what I mean? Barbarian is a totally good example. I love Barbarian, but that movie got a lot less scary after you see. It's true after you see what the scary thing is, because the tension is broken. It's still tense like throughout, but once you're you know, aware of it, it's like that for, like, well, what else have I seen? Like Cloverfield is kind of like that. You know what I mean? I first really noticed that with your Mr. Krabs one. That was perfect. Yeah, it's a great example. That last one, I could have drawn, right, a fourth panel where you see Mr. Krabs' face and he's like, or whatever. But it's like, it's not necessary because you know what he's thinking, and your own, you know, assumption about what his face looks like is funnier than whatever I would have drawn. Telling you, cheat code, and it's easier. That's the other thing. You don't have to draw a face. Let the audience, let the reader decide what that looks like. All right, here we go. Curving up. All right, this is kind of the snout area, because this is like his neck, his chin is up like that. All right. So this hook shape curves back down a bit, all right, into the top of the head. So it's like, overall, it's almost like a bean shape. See what I mean? Original Godzilla only shows up in the third act. That's interesting. I didn't even know that. Psycho shower scene, totally. Mine looks like Grimace. He kind of looks like Grimace right now. We're going to make his little mouth, which is just a tiny upside down V. Moomin. Not true. Which part's not true? Jorange. Go ahead. This is an open discussion. Spot on the face, which is just a sort of U shape right here. C shape for the ear. Guys, we're going to finish this drawing like way too fast. We're going to have a lot of time. Always struggled mentally with this perspective, but it's easier than I thought. I'm telling you, it's just like hands, right? You know how I'm always talking about, well, for some of you guys that are first-time listeners, also check it out. I'm making just a little Another U shape. This is his arm. His arm on the other side. He's doing like that. Breaking things down into simple shapes. That's all it is. It's just simple shapes. Godzilla makes early appearances in the OG movie. I'm really not well versed in Godzilla movies. I actually couldn't even tell you if I've ever seen any Godzilla movie like all the way through. And then there's another long U shape, which is the other leg coming around like that. I mean, that is a pole dancing panda. We're going to color it in, obviously. Yes. It's a Bryan Cranston Godzilla. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Anyways, this bamboo pole. Alright. Now, just at the bottom here, with the room that you have at the bottom of the page, we're just going to draw the other... And it's more of the same, right? It's exactly what I was just talking about. Well, you don't need to bring colors. It's actually just black and white, really. I guess the bamboo we could color in. It doesn't have to be. But you just color in the spots on the panda. Bamboo translates without. So this one, you're just going to make a semicircle that kind of cuts off the bottom of the page, right? That's one panda. Ear. And another one, we're just going to see his side profile, which is actually this curvy shape. So it goes snout, up, see, it comes back up, and then over. Ear kind of gets cut off, at least in mine. That's what fits. And then make this circle. A smaller circle inside. Hey, sup everyone, your work rocks, man. Cheers from Brazil. Hey, cheers to Brazil. What time is it there? Thank you for jumping in, man. Let's see. Ooh, have you always, Trashmans, have you always been able to draw things in one go like that? I always feel like I have to block things out before fleshing it out. I really don't usually draw things in one. Well, I guess you guys will see. I mean, on the stream, I'm drawing things on the fly. 10 p.m. Oh, it's not terrible. I do and I don't. Some things I do draw in one go, but like my comics that I'm posting, it's not one go. I'm going in pencil first, right? Usually like a few tries in pencil. Like this doesn't look great. You know, I want to make sure things are like plotted right, or you know, here's like another little behind the scenes like with that Mr. Krabs comic, just because that one just went like crazy mode on Twitter, but that last panel, there were some people who were saying like they were like, oh, where did Pearl go in the last frame? And in my head canon is that she just moved out of frame, right? Like she like got up and moved. But the actual reason is that I drew that final panel with Pearl in the final panel, but it was too cluttered and it wasn't like as funny. I didn't think the punchline, like you really just needed to see the PayPal on the computer and Mr. Krabs in shot without even his face, just him reacting to it. Just those two items needed to be there. Having Pearl there, what is she going to do? Cry? Sit there? There wasn't really anything interesting for me to have her doing there, and it just cluttered the page. So I actually had that drawing with her in the drawing, and I was like, you know what? Let me simplify this. Get her out of this shot. Just have the two, just the computer and Krabs in it. And I just, yeah, technically, it wasn't a great final panel because, like, it wasn't a great final panel because I guess it was missing Pearl, but in my head it just worked better, and I still stick by that. What, I thought Beetle Moses was a hot babe? You still don't think that? Alright, let's color this in. And then, what's our second drawing going to be? This one, we kind of breezed through it, man. I mean, we've literally only been drawing, like... I've been drawing for only like 30 minutes, so what else can we do? This is basically how I'm going to color mine in, but of course you guys can, you know, get creative, but I'm just going black, white, black, white. This is how pandas are colored in, by the way. I've drawn pandas enough in my... Oh! Gumshoe. Gumshoe sighting. Beetle Moses is a hot babe. Thank you. I've drawn enough pandas in my day to tell you this is how the spot patterns work on pandas. Alright, it's their arms, eyes, and ears are the black part, and everything else is white. Alright, let me zoom out here real quick. And then I guess I'll just color this part in. Let's make it green. Alright. I'm just gonna make that just like that. Whoops. Undo. That's it. That's a bamboo. Since we talked about Godzilla, maybe draw him. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Maybe draw something with a gnome. Kind of be biting my boy Eliphas style, yeah. He's good too. Same drawing, but it's Godzilla pole dancing on a skyscraper. That is funny. Should we do that? It's basically what we just did here, but it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Are you guys down for that? I could do that. I can show you how to do that. Yeah, what do you think? Perfect timing. Yeah, we'll do that one. I'm so down. My food is here, so I'll just be observing the second one. I like how my pandas turned out. Hell yeah. I can't wait to see these. Oh, I guess the only other thing we could do with this drawing, if you want to, you can add like the ground in the background here. Just like a little dirt patch. That's how I would do it, probably. Yeah, I really like that Godzilla idea. I think it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but the juice is worth the squeeze, because it's going to look really good at the end. Let's do it. This one came out nice, actually. This is the first time I've actually, like, fully colored one of our drawings. It actually looks pretty good. Alright, so that's that. Let's open a new one. We're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be Gojira doing a dance on a skyscraper. Alright, grab another piece of paper, guys. Get your pens ready. That was actually great practice, I would say, for what we're about to draw, because it's going to be this... I literally think we should just do the same pose. Some of you guys have been following me a while will remember I did that one comic that actually also did numbers a long time ago. That was the... it was Mario pole dancing down the, like, final flag. You know what I mean? Which I loved that one. That was like one of my personal favorites when I drew it. And that one, I gave him really complex pole dancing positions because I thought it was like funnier that way. But I literally had to look up like an image search of like crazy pole dance maneuvers or something like that. And there was like 2 or 3 of them that were like research. There was like 2 or 3 of them that were, I was like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. Like upside down spread eagle, like doing some great. I was just like, that's so funny. Got any good stretches for wrist pain? Honestly, amazingly, I don't really experience too much wrist pain for how much that I draw, but part of it, and you guys can't see this, part of it is because I hold my pen really weird. Actually a little. I forget that I hold it weird, but I hold my pen like this when I'm drawing. Like that. So I'm kind of in a relaxed position. I'm not really moving my hand so much. I know most people hold it like this, but I hold it like that. It's been my whole life. Yeah, it's pretty weird. I just accepted that I will have carpal tunnel. One day you are going to wake up and your hand will be a shriveled nub, probably. Don't tell them you're going to lose viewers. I always forget that I draw weird because it's like drawing is kind of a solitary thing. And then once I do it in front of somebody for the first time, they're like, that's how you hold your pen? That's how you hold your pencil? Yeah, my teachers were definitely startled. They used to give me these little, I don't know if you guys had this when you were in school or this was just a me thing, but that they would give me, but they used to give me these little grippy things that I would put on my pen that's supposed to like guide how you like holding it. Because I was always holding it like this. And they never worked. I never stopped drawing like this. Yeah, the little trainer things. What can I say? You know what? It's what's comfortable for me. I know to answer the question that you asked was wrist exercises, but I do occasionally do stuff like this where I like bend back a bit, sometimes the other way, down, just to get the blood flowing. All right, same thing. Okay, get your pens and papers ready. OMG, I need those when I hold a pencil. It hurts like hell. Yeah, it was never comfortable for me to hold it that way. It never worked for me. Okay, so this one, we are going to draw Godzilla dancing on a skyscraper. I hold mine like a drumstick and just beat the shit out of the page as I draw. That's what's up. All right. L shape for the knee of Godzilla. Just like this. Is you with me? Mm-hmm. 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 Are you guys telling your friends about these drawing streams? I'm trying to blow up. Here's the toes. It's just a little kind of W shape like that. Told your friend Tom. Good. Good work. All right. You don't have any friends. I'm your friend. You told a bunch of teens on TikTok. Let's go. Told your brother. Let's go. Bottom of the foot. All right. Just give it a little depth. And then a smaller little L shape for the back of the knee. Just like that. Should we look up just actually a photo reference of Godzilla? It's kind of crazy. I know there's a lot of different design iterations. Do we want to do like OG Godzilla or like the newer design? Let's see, Godzilla. Oh my god. I just got an image of a Godzilla Funko Pop that just looks absolutely terrifying. I mean, the main thing that makes Godzilla look like that is that he's got the blue spikes on his back. Alright, this is a picture of a toy. But I think it actually is a good shot of the whole thing. What the hell is this? Okay, here we go. Save image. Godzilla. Okay. You know what picture I love? I was almost thinking about drawing this for the promo, like making my character doing this. You know that picture of Jamie Lee Curtis and she's standing like really awkwardly and it just says, okay. Shin was so cool. Alright, should I look up Shin Godzilla? Let me just look what that looks like real quick. Is he that different than this? I feel like, I hate to break it to you Godzilla heads out there, but this all kind of looks the same. Kind of looks the same to me. Shin Godzilla. Oh, he's like purple. Well, that's fresh. Oh, damn. Actually, he does look kind of different. Never mind. I stand corrected. Yo, he looks wild. What the hell? This is what Godzilla looked like in this movie? He looks scary. Look at this one. I didn't see this movie. Is this good? What does Shin mean? I get ramen sometimes that says Shin. I don't know what it means in Japanese. Let's see. Beatle, don't forget to record it. Thank you. Tangoon did remind me. Let's see. Shin was so cool. Put it on screen so everyone can screenshot the ref you're using. Okay, these are the... Share with the Discord. Okay. 90s Godzilla looks scrunk. Sorry, I'm missing some because I was on here. Shin Godzilla was great. New or reborn. Isn't that part of your leg? Whoa, 6 spikes. It means new. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, he does look kind of crazy here. I mean, for the sake of our drawing, I think... Okay, even though Shin Godzilla, I will say this design is absolutely fucking sick. I will say that the left design here is going to be a little bit easier for our purposes just because he has longer limbs. He has big legs on this one, but these little arms are going to be kind of inconvenient for us. It's not much to work with. Maybe we'll get some. We'll probably end up drawing something in between these two. Tiny nubs. Shin Godzilla is literally cosmic horrors behind your. I'm comprehending it. Big lizard, purple spikes. That looks comprehensible to me. If you guys want to screenshot this, I got to take it off screen. But this is what it looks like. You want to screenshot it just so you have it? Ready? I'm going to close out of these for now. This one. Drag this one up. I think we're going to probably use a little bit closer to the original for reference. Just because he's going to be easier to draw. Okay. We're going to draw his little arm now, too. Straight line. Okay. Spiky hands, fingers, and another straight line back down. Pretty good. Pretty easy. All right. Now take it slow. I know a lot of you guys struggle. I get a lot of questions about drawing straight lines. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't draw them perfectly straight. They never come out perfectly straight. In fact, even drawing this bamboo was kind of a cheat code because I don't have to draw it straight because it's all bumpy and warpy. We're gonna draw some straight lines here because we're drawing architecture. We're drawing a skyscraper. But don't be too concerned about getting the lines straight, all right? We're just having fun, so don't get frustrated. It does help to kind of, sometimes what I'll do is go like really light in the pen first and then go over it dark. Like when I'm drawing, I know it's funny, it's even like a meme, I think, like when people try to recreate Beatle comics, they make the boxes all like wiggly, like an 8-year-old child drew them. I know that's become like my signature thing, but actually I am using, what I do is I am using a ruler and pencil to create the boxes, and then I go over those pencil lines with a pen, but I'm not using a ruler. So that's why I'm still getting the box shape that's like, you know, consistent size, but that's why it looks a little bit like, you know, bad. But now I see people are like, oh, this is my attempt at a Beatle comic, and it's like, and it's just, they all look kind of like squiggly and dumb. It's okay. I like drawing it that way, and I'm not throwing shade. This is not me throwing shade, but I've seen a lot of other big webcomic artists, like people who have been on the scene a lot longer than I have, doing the, you know, Beatle style. I'm not saying I invented it. I'm just saying I didn't see it before, and I see a lot of it now. But these are good artists. They're talented artists, so who am I to judge? All right, here we go. We're going to draw a straight line. Straight line. Going up. Okay. Up here. And then stop. Make sure you don't hit the top of the page, because remember, skyscrapers have a little extra something. All right, we're going to get to that in a sec. We're going to make, now bear with me, all right? It's going to look slightly 3D, but remember, sometimes when we draw boxes, we've done this a few times on stream before. I know this is sort of just the meme, this is how you draw a box, right? That's like, you know, line like that. But when you're looking at a box at eye level, it actually looks like that. Because you cannot see the top and you cannot see the bottom. That's what we're going to do with this architecture right now. So make a straight line going across just a little bit farther out than it needs to be, like that. One straight line coming down here. Okay. Oops. Okay. Straight line. Okay, and another straight line. Alright. It's not perfect. Gets the job done. Okay. This one, just make lines connecting them like that. Okay. They might be at like a little bit of an angle at the bottom here. It's getting into some perspective business that might be like too complicated for the sake of the stream, but flat on top, little bit of an angle on the bottom, it still translates. Makes sense. It's because we're at eye level with this point. But this point, since it's at a distance, it's a little bit different. Hi, how do you straight line? Yeah, we were kind of going over this, but there's really no secret. It's going to come with I could be your angle or your devil. It really is going to come with practice. It just has to do with confidence of your line work. You know, I see, like, there's a lot of people that are amateur drawing, like amateur artists, and I don't mean amateur in a bad way, it just means, like, just starting out, that will draw things kind of in a way that's, like, very, like, sketchy, you know? And it's, like, it's good, like, it gets the job done, like, but that's, to me, a little bit of a sign of an amateur artist. Because when somebody has been drawing for a really long time, and I'm not even saying I'm an authority on it, it's just that I do draw a lot, you just get more confident. You don't think so much about, ooh, let me make this circle perfect. Let me make this line perfect. You have a general idea of where things need to go, and that's pretty much it. It does help, like, if you're really struggling, it does help to do point and point. So you're drawing point to point, right? Or even connect the dots if it's a really long line, point, point, point. But it's just going to come with time. I promise. If you just keep practicing, draw for if you can, and anybody can find the time to do this. Oh, here we go. I will never stop plugging draw box lesson on lines. There you go. I don't know what that is, but sounds good to me. Anything that's going to get you drawing just more, if it's practice, if it's for fun, you guys could totally be fitting in. Aside from my stream, I'm having so much fun on the stream, but you could totally be fitting in 15 minutes of drawing a day. And you know what happens is you start drawing and you want to end up finishing it and you end up drawing for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Happens all the time. And you start having fun while you're doing it, and then you don't even realize that you're drawing for 4 hours and you're like, Jesus Christ, I gotta eat lunch. I gotta eat dinner. It really is just to practice more. I know that's not a great answer, but straight lines, something like that, it's like a fundamental that really just comes with time. But you shouldn't get discouraged. Because if you draw things and you feel like your lines aren't straight right away, it's okay. It's all part of the process. I know I was talking about, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I was showing like my drawing books that I've just been finishing and working through. I just finished my 4th book. These are 3 of them right here. That I was just, I have 1, 2, 3. That I've just been working through. If we look at my first one, obviously I've still been drawing for a long time, so it's, you know, they're not horrendous, but I can look at my drawings and be like, I think I can draw better now. Because I'm drawing all the time. Like, things have got, like, even this one, honestly, okay, if I'm talking about, like, I love this comic. I think this is an underrated one of mine, even though it's just like, it's just old. I posted it when I had a smaller following, so a lot of people haven't seen it. But it's a cow that's getting dropped back into the field, and his friend is like, holy shit, Eric, you're back. What happened? And he's like, I can't even read it, but he says, like, honestly, being abroad is something everybody should experience. I'm a totally different person. It's impossible for me to explain, blah, 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 like some stupid shit like that. Anyway, I really like this one. But on one hand, the idea I'm really proud of. I really like it. But if I was going to draw this today, it wouldn't look like this. I don't think this looks very good. This final panel is a fucking eyesore. It's not very well drawn. I don't like this enormous block of text. I mean, it is crucial to the joke that he's like having going on a whole spiel, but I just would not have positioned it this way. And I mean, I only drew this. This was like maybe 6 months ago. You know what I mean? It hasn't been that long of a time, but I wouldn't have laid it out. Like, I wouldn't have laid it out that way anymore. Thank you. I know, like, thank you. I know you guys are complimentary of it, but I, like, you're right. You're your own biggest critic. Like, let me see what if there's anything else I can show you here. Some of these ideas, like my ideas when I was starting out with, were also just simpler. Like I didn't have the same. I don't really do much of these anymore, but I put this one. I kind of want to do some more like this, like a dynamic panel, where it's this vampiric creature, and he's looking out there, and it's out of like a sewer grate like that. But I drew it in this way that's kind of like a dynamic panel. I don't really do those so much anymore. I haven't at least drawn one in a while. I'm so used to the 3 blocks, but I was kind of experimenting back then. Let's see. My biggest issue is making panels look aesthetically pleasing. Dude, I totally feel you. And it's honestly like, I don't even... I've pretty much given up on trying to do dynamic panels at this point. Like, I usually have an idea that now I think in like 2 or 3 panels, and I'm just like, you know, let me just keep it simple, basically. I don't know what else I have here. Some of these I just completely forgot about. Like, they're just like, just old ones. This one was funny. Remember this one? Hit him with the chair, and then it's like the Steve and Joe, and he's hitting him with the thinking chair. Alright, well anyway, yeah, so I just finished my 4th one. Now I got like, these are the 4 that I finished, and now I'm working on number 5 right now. And the first one that I drew in number 5 was the Mr. Krabs comic. So there you go. It's been a long time. Let's see, how long did it take to fill up one book? It depends. I mean, if I'm in grind mode, like, I mean, I've only been drawing comics. I've only been posting to Twitter since April of last year, so... let's see, how do I scan with the spine of the book? I'm just using my phone, I'm just taking a photo of it, turning the contrast up so it's black and white. I would like to see a Beatle comic that is like 10 panels long just to see what you come up with. Well, you know, there's a little bit behind the scenes, but I am working on a longer thing today, and I actually put some work into it today. I got like, I think I'm about like 8 or 9 pages deep into like a short graphic novel that I'm working on. It's wordless, it's just visuals, but it's like a short story that I came up with, and I've been sitting on for a really long time, but it's daunting to work on like a long thing. So I am working on that right now. That's underway. Probably people who are subscribed to the Cold Cuts Patreon will start seeing like a little bit of work in prog. I know like Man, Myth, Legend, House of Decline, he just worked on like a really... I don't know if you guys, first of all, follow him. You should. He's like... I mean, I really am not just saying this. He's actually a genius. Like, he is a genius. And he just worked on a really long... it's not really long, but it's like fairly long, like a graphic novel that he was posting... like a couple pages at a time, like I think a couple pages a week, he would be like uploading some new ones, and I think it just ended. I don't think I read the last few pages of it, like I'm not up to date, but I noticed that he's gone back to posting his regular like cycle of like comics, which to me says that he's finished this big project, and it's so good. I've never seen anything like it. Extremely unique art style, fresh idea. Is that the penis guy? Yeah, it's him. Dude, genius. And he was posting it on Twitter just like a page at a time, which I think is cool, but I don't think I would do it the same way. I think I'd like to see the entire thing in front of me before I post it, but to each his own. Is the long comic in the books or somewhere else? It is in the books. It's actually, there's the first few pages are in book 4, and then I just drew like 5 more pages in book 5. It's probably going to be close to like, I don't know how many pages total. It might be like 40 pages-ish. Yeah, that comic was shocking in the best way, dude. He's amazing. What kind of books are those? The brand, dude, I get them from Walmart. They're like extremely cheap. The brand is called Royal Langnickel. Royal Langnickel sketchbook. They're little, but they're like thickums, so they're perfect for me. Good quality paper. The binding is kind of shit. Like if I wanted to just like snap this in half, it would take like no effort at all. But it does exactly what I need it to do. It's great. I use that, and I use Micron pens. Although I did just get this fresh Japanese pen that I forget the brand name of that I've been using. Saw it on Twitter, ordered it immediately, came in Amazon the next day. Can't remember the name. Maybe I'll look it up so I can tell you guys, but it's very nice. It's more of a brush type, but it's still thin. Anyway, I call my cat Thickums. Yes. All right. Should we get back to the drawing? Let's see. If you want to check it out, if you want to check out that House of Decline comic, I cannot recommend it enough. House of Decline. House is spelled like the German way, like Haus. And I'm sure it's right there. If you go to his media tab on his page, you'll find it. He probably has somewhere on that you can view it like separately, but I don't know. It's incredible. It's incredible. He's a crazy artist, and definitely inspired me to be like, you know what, I should really get off my ass and actually start doing this thing. Okay. Let's continue this drawing. Sorry, that was like a bit of a tangent. I wanted to answer some questions for you guys though. All right. This leg is going to be up, okay? This one, you can even, don't connect it because you can even add a little bit of his, like, you know, under area there. There it is. Thank you for linking it, Jay Schmaltz. Seriously, genius artist. Also one of the guys that, like, when I first kind of joined the Twitter scene was just super, see how I'm drawing this little foot? By the way, line up, 3 spikes. Super supportive, you know. We talked a bunch. We still talk. We've had him on Cold Cuts podcast, like I don't even know, like 4 times. Dude is straight up galaxy brain, and to top it off, he is just like a really cool artist. Like just, I mean, cool. He's a cool guy, but that's not what I mean. I mean like his art is like, sometimes I even get a little self-conscious about myself because I'm like, do I have like a distinct style, or am I just like, you know, like whatever. I think I probably do, but it's like harder to see your own. But House has just like he has like a style, you know what I mean? The kid's got style. I might have made Godzilla like a little too thick here. Let's bring it like that. Yeah, that's alright. Godzilla Grundle. It's one arm. And then he's got this like neck, like a long neck. He's throwing his head back. So just slight curve up. Can never make Godzilla too thick. Give him another booty cheek. I don't think we're going to be able to see his booty cheek, unfortunately. Let's see. What is Godzilla? Look at his mouth here. I was just thinking, like, should I make him, like, breathing this laser into the sky while he's doing this? But I don't know if that's going to work, like, visually. I think you have a very specific style. Thank you. I think the more that anybody like, any artist draws, you're going to, like, end up working towards a style anyway. See how I did this? Just kind of a little rectangle. Godzilla looking kind of... But now his mouth is open, so when we draw... do we like it better open or closed? Actually, it might be kind of funny closed. Actually, let's do it closed. The helicopters are shooting dollar bills. That's funny. Hang on, don't draw this yet, guys. Just want to plot it out. I'm trying to decide if I want to add, like, more dimension. Yeah, let's do that. So, top lip. Wait, this is... hang on a sec. Nah. Alright, top lip. Little line up. Over. Give yourself enough room because there's going to be, he has like a little head in comparison to the rest of his body, but still give yourself some room. And his little eye is closed right here. All right. Now, we're going to make his tail, but we're actually going to let's go his back first. So, you want to leave some room, because his tail is going to be like this area here, right? This area. So, you want to leave a big enough space in between there. But you're going to make a curve coming up. And just a little, see how I just made that? Like, up. And then before I reach the top of his head, I just little bumps. So just distinguish where his neck ends and his head begins. See what I mean? Very slight. Doesn't have to be precise or even exactly how I'm doing it, but just a little dip. Just something to distinguish it. Give it a little lip there. Alright. We got to give him some spikes on his back. Now, I'm going to there's different, I guess there's the Shin Godzilla spikes, but then there's the other Godzilla spikes, which I think look kind of like this. I think that's more classic Godzilla, in my opinion. So, keep them, don't make them too big, because we're going to still have the tail, like, wrapping around here, so I don't want it to get too busy. But the basic shape is, think of a square, but with, like, a tinier square peeking out of the top. Doesn't have to. You can also do kind of like spiky, right? Square with a little triangle peeking out. Square. Square. And they're getting smaller as they get closer to the top of his head. See how I did that? And we want out his back here. Well, I don't know. Let me see where the tail's going to go. Out the back, you just want his little arm peeking out too. That's part of the drama, right? That's his arm. Following me? How we doing? I'm going to give you guys some time because I know that's a lot of shapes. Let's see here. How's everybody looking? Chat's gone quiet. You guys drawing along? Really enjoying the stream? Thank you. Thank you. Here's how the tail's going to work. Ready? Looking good? Doing solid? Okay, okay. Drawing this dimension of the tail. So the tail's coming around, but he's got a thick tail. And there's going to be spikes on it. He's beautiful. I don't have paper, but love watching. I will one day. What? You don't have any paper at your place? You don't have like an old notebook from your class or something? We're giving him this little lip on the tail. See, the reason I'm like kind of going slow is because I'm thinking how I want to. You're going to have to trust me on this a bit, alright? Oh, you're not home, you're on your phone, I understand. Drawing MS Paint using only your mouse. Dude, I know artists that do that. I know really good artists that do that. I don't know, they may have gotten a tablet now, but my boy Slug Knight, the Slug Knight on Twitter, hilarious comic artist, and Eliphas, E-L-I-P-H-H, two H's, A-S, E-L-I-P-H-H-A-S, both sick artists, and they do it on MS Paint using a mouse, to my knowledge. All right, ready? We're gonna make another little one of these spiky things, kind of make it like connect. See, like the same shape but going up, and then just make one that is sideways. It's just a skinny rectangle because we're actually looking at this shape from the side. Dude, they're crazy for that. I think they it looks good. Like they're actually good. That's the crazy part. They're good drawers and they're doing it on like the most difficult imaginable way. I'm gonna make one more, I think, like that. Yeah, one more skinny rectangle going up like that. I know that looks weird right now, but it's gonna come together when we actually draw the tail. They're crazy. If you don't believe me, you should check them out on Twitter. They're very cool. Cool guys. Other guys that have also been like, I feel like with me for a very long time, like following me a long time. All right, same thing. We're gonna do the curve from the inner knee. It's a very big curve. It's gonna come around all the way around. Because the tail, I'm gonna picture it. Does that look right? Hang on. I think it needs to be coming around another angle. Maybe up here. That kind of looks better. Yeah, I think I like it better up there. And give him some extra spikes up there too. It's a little bit hard to translate, but it helps by closing in. So I'm drawing this line, making his underbelly a different color. See how I'm adding those? All right. Now on top of the building. I know that was hard. Are you guys like with me? You got the tail? So I'm adding just little things on here. Tail sucks. Tail was difficult. It's alright. It translates. It looks good. Right on top here, we're adding line, 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 which is all this line is in the middle of this line. This line is in the middle of this line. This line is perfectly in line with this line. Does that make sense? So it goes halfway, right on top, and that one's a little bit higher, halfway, and then connect the top. And then on top of that, tall, skinny rectangle, just like that. Now this one especially, I think, is a drawing that's gonna like, I think it adds more to it by putting little other things in there. If you want to draw, I'm gonna show you how to draw like a little car. Do you want me to show you how to do that? It's just the Pizza Hut logo. Drawing this car with me? Here, let me zoom in. Draw this shape. Don't be too hard on yourself. That's right. Just doing this for fun. Doesn't have to be perfect. So make this shape. Line. Line. All at an angle. Slight angle. Line. Connect. Whoops. Wait, I kind of made my lines in the wrong place. Every time that there's a point, we're drawing a line. 4 lines. You guys see that? And they're all just connecting. That's how you make it look boxy. And then it's just 2 little wheels. And that's all you need. I mean, at this distance, you don't really need to see anything. The car translates. This is another one that's going to look good with color. I would also say, if you really want to get into the detail, like this is also the fun part of drawing for me, is like once the drawing's done, you know, adding little things that just bring it to life. Adding the details, squares. This is what makes the drawing interesting. It's also the relaxing, I mean, in my opinion, this is the most relaxing part of the drawing, is that when the actual brunt work is done, and now you're like, let me just add this, let me just add this. And then I'm going to color them in. Let's go bucket fill. Now, obviously, I know I told you guys you only needed to bring a pen and paper, so don't worry about it. But if you wanted to color it in, if you want to just add some extra, you know, oomph. He's got the blue spikes. I do think that it does. You always leave gaps. Sometimes I add too many details and then I think it doesn't look as good. It's funny you mention it. There is, I think, such a thing as overcooking a drawing a little bit. I mean, I definitely am liable to do that. Happens all the time. But you can kind of feel it out. You can feel it out. I think there are little details that you can add that are going to make things look better. Some things you have to ask yourself and be like, is this really making my drawing better, or am I just like overcooking it to try to compensate because I'm not really like happy with how it looks? You know what I mean? That happens to me too. But at the end of the day, more often than not, adding like little details, like little finishing touches, is actually just making it look better. Gives a little bit more personality. It's more interesting. I knew I was gonna do that. Pretty happy with this. I definitely think the hardest part of this was probably the tail bit. I'm going to add some scales on him too. I think that was probably the trickiest bit because he has a big tail and we were trying to get it to look, you know, like it was wrapping around the building. But I actually, like, the longer I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, you know what? This actually does, it translates. It looks good. And remember, just don't be too hard on yourself. Let's see. You added a shoreline. That's great. Let's look at this drawing here. Yeah. Dude, nice. It looks good. Yeah, I do think that a shoreline is actually a good idea. Like adding a little bit of a like a city street here. Hang on. Oops. And then some ocean. I'm gonna color this bit in here. See, even now I'm kind of just like zoning out. Oops. I want to close those lines. It's fun. This is the part of drawing that I just really like. Like, one of the most relaxing parts to me is that you guys know that I color in my comics when I'm finished with them. That's the relaxing part. Because when I'm actually drawing it, I'm like, oh, I really want this to look right. I really got to have like a steady hand. You know, make sure that everything's coming out exactly the way that I want it. Blah, blah, blah. All this doom and gloom. And then it's done, and I'm like, oh, okay, sick. Now I can just, you know, sit back and color it. I think I'm getting better at drawing fire. That's great. Yeah, I didn't really walk through the fire this time around because it was kind of like optional. But it's the same thing that I'm always talking about. It's just, if you're drawing a spiky line, zigzag, and then you were also drawing a wiggly line, if they had a baby, it would be a wiggly, spiky line. And that's fire. In my head, that's the easiest way to explain it. But again, like I said, practice makes perfect. Just got to keep trying. Keep doing it. Doodle on your notebook paper. Been trying to draw every other day as my New Year's resolution, and these streams have helped me keep with that. Dude, that's great. That's great. I wish I was streaming more often. I mean, I shouldn't say I wish. Like, I could just be doing more often. It's just, this is what fits into my schedule right now. But I really am, like, considering doing a Friday stream also. I think, like, a Friday, maybe at an earlier hour, you know, starting at, like, maybe 3 or 4 my time, I think would be good. But this was really fun. I think both of these drawings, I'm really happy with how they came out. I like that there was, like, a running theme between the two of them. What's your method for the infinite color wheel? I'm not sure what that means. If you clarify what that means, I could tell you. But too many options. Oh, like in coloring something in. Honestly, as I'm drawing more and more, I'm not really caring as much about keeping like a consistent like colors really, or like complementary colors. I'm just coloring the things in the way that they look in my head. The only time that I'm like really thinking more like laterally about what to color in is if I'm coloring in a background on a drawing where it doesn't necessitate any like actual color. Like, let's say I'm drawing something, I'm sure I can think of an example that the background is irrelevant, right? It's just like two subjects on nothing background. That's usually when I will pick like some type of complementary colors, or a lot of the times I'll pick 3 shades of the same color. If there's like one, usually the second panel, which is like an inciting action, I'll make that background a little bit brighter because it's something, there's more, if it's more vibrant, it translates like there's more action happening in that one. I have color palettes for specific characters and adjust them based on lighting personally. Everything else I just pick what my eyes like that day. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way, and I'm really not even a master of like digital coloring really. I'm a painter, but painting is a little different because it's like you're saying, like the infinite, you don't have an infinite color wheel really when you're painting. You have whatever 5 or 6 paints you've put on your page, and then everything is going to be a product of those colors that you're mixing together, which means they're all in some way going to complement each other. Does that make sense? When I'm drawing digitally, I don't think about it really. I mean, I'm not thinking about it so hard. But basic things like primary colors, usually I'll try to do, if I have 3 backgrounds, I'll make one like a light blue, one a light yellow, and one like a pink, like red, blue, yellow. Or I'll do orange and blues, or sometimes I'll do a green, but one of them's a little bit bluish, one of them's a little bit yellowish, and one of them's like a straight up green. Just experiment. You'll find out what you like, and you'll notice, like with other comic artists that you utilize color, they have a palette that they dip back into. I don't really. I mostly just color things in like the way that I think it should look on any given day. All right, guys. I believe we've reached the end of the stream, but I got to give. First of all, is there a schedule for these kind of streams? Or are there whenever I'm able to? No. I mean, yes, there is a schedule. Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Every Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to try to fit them in on a Friday too, but right now, Mondays and Wednesdays every day. So we're going to run another one of these on Wednesday. If you guys have ideas or something for like a drawing that you want to do next week, you can DM me. I would love to see these drawings. If you want to post them on Twitter, I'll retweet it. If you aren't comfortable sharing them on Twitter, I still would love to see it. If you want to, you can DM me. If you need any help, questions, I'll message you back. I know I can't always message back right away. I do get a lot of messages, but I will get back to you. So much fun. Thank you, Beatleman. Thank you, bought the pencil trick print for my partner, and he loved it. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to continue to support me, you can, of course, follow me, subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe to my Patreon with my co-host, which is patreon.com/coldcuts. Me and Yola Swag Studios. You'll get early access to Beatle Moses comics, early access to Yola Swag Studio comics, bonus episodes of our podcast, and you also get access to our Discord, so you basically have a direct line to us. We're always in there. Plus a bunch of other fun stuff. We play Jackbox in there, Gartic Phone, all kinds of stuff. It's really funny. What else can I tell you? The VOD, if you weren't able to catch the whole thing, I think Nightbot just linked it in here, my youtube.com/@BeatleMoses. That's where I upload my VODs. This one's going to be up sometime tomorrow. And then I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're going to run another one back. That's it. Thank you so much, guys, all right? I will see you in the DMs. Goodbye.